I remember before, my wife and I would spend some time down in the United States, almost 5 years, and there's actually three branches of the government. It's not just the president; it's the three branches that the students are taught at a young age, and it's amazing how so many people elsewhere, like they're saying, they're just noticed there's the president, right? So you're also involved with the other projects at the same time, and one project that you're involved with is called StopTheChambers.com. Could you tell us quickly a little bit about that? We only have a couple minutes left, and then we'll get your contact information so that way you can pass it on to the listening audience too.
Sure. Stop the Chamber, singular. StopTheChamber.com refers to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and there are these Chamber of Commerce organizations all over the United States, and many of the small local and state-level ones are not really such forces of destruction in our country. Some of them are quite responsible organizations, but the U.S. Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C. Is the biggest funder of lobbying, of corrupting corporate financial influence within our government, the biggest spender of money on advertising on political issues and on advertising on political candidates, which recently our Supreme Court, that third branch of the government, eliminated all limitations on. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce serves as a front group and creates subsidiary, pleasantly named front groups for spending corporate money, so that oil corporations and military and other corporations can spend money to influence U.S. politics without their name being on it. It's an incredibly destructive force with a very right-wing agenda, fighting the idea that global warming exists, prolonging wars, destroying rights for people in the workplace in this country, opposing health care, opposing financial reform, and so forth. And so the influence of that one organization, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, that spends tens of millions of dollars every year to corrupt our government, is something that has to be addressed.
And I wanted to quickly point out there, David, that another website you have is davidswanson.org for people to go check out. Could you leave us with some contact information there, David, for the listening audience so they can contact you if they have any questions they want to ask that we didn't cover today?
Well, that'd probably be the best place. Go to davidswanson.org and click contact and send me an email. And I'd be very interested in anything. You have to say, Americans are usually not interested at all, and therefore don't learn much about what anyone outside of their country thinks of them. And so I'm eager to hear.
Well, I must say that in order for me to find out about the true history of Canada, I learned it from the United States. I learned it once access to the internet down in the United States. There's an awful lot more information available about true Canadian history than I was ever taught when I was in the military for almost 9 years, when I grew up in the northern tip of Vancouver Island, a small town called Port Hardy, and even after leaving the military, I learned an awful lot more down in the United States in almost 5 years than I ever learned here in Canada in regards to Canadian history.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure it would work the same if I moved up there.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on there, David. That was David Swanson. This is Co-op Radio 102.7 FM CFRO. This is Monday Brown Bagger. And thank you for listening in. Again, I'll be archiving this on www.reginaldangusargue.com. Thank you, everyone.